Welcome back to Uncle Fezzi's Mad Lab. What's Uncle Fezzi up to now? Well, so the other day I did a video. I've done a couple videos on my cameras because my hobbies are all cyclic or cyclic, depending on how you want to say it. I started dragging my cameras back out, and I'm going to start shooting some pictures again, just because. So I bought this monster lens here, which is way bigger than I thought it was going to be. And it actually is bigger than the camera, which is kind of hilarious all on its own. But I had also mentioned about these bases. This one's loose. That I bought. Okay, so this is a Fuji factory handle, and it's also an Arca Swiss tripod mount. And I really like these, and I paid dearly for the first one, and then I bought a new one not long ago and still paid dearly for it. One of the things with these is the handle is still a little small for my liking. Now, I don't have very big hands, right? And with this lens and my new thumb dooflicky here, or my new thumb holder, it was okay. But then I got this lens, and I realized that I need a little bit more grip on this thing. Just, you know, so basically what happened, or what's happening here, is I got 3 fingers on this one, and you know, really it's only 2, because this finger doesn't really grip on all that great. So this one bumps up, right? So what I decided to do was, I'm going to take this off, because we're going to take this one apart and I'm going to put this together. So what I decided to do was make a new handle for this. And hey, guess what? Reverse engineering stuff's a hell of a lot harder than you think it would be, especially if you're a dimwit like me and doesn't actually know how to use the software. So let's get in a little bit closer here and take a look at what I got going on. Okay, so what I did was I reverse engineered this piece, and I think it came out pretty good. So this is the new one. This is printed out of PLA carbon fiber. It fits really well. I did have to trim it a little bit here to get it to fit right. A little bit more, let's put it that way. So I'm not going to take this one off. I'm not going to take this one apart. But you can see here what it does is it gives me this. I have a full 3 fingers on this thing now. I got 3 hands on, or 3 fingers on here, and my shooting hand. This lens is so big. This lens is so big I have to shoot with 2 hands. I always shoot with 2 hands anyway. It's very rare for me to shoot with 1 hand. I'm old school camera guy. I'm used to lugging around heavy equipment. So it's not that big of a deal for me to use 2 hands. I'm also, it's just me. I'm old, and that's just the way it is. So there's the thumb hold, and then there's the new grip I made. It's a little wonky, but we're going to see how it goes. Now, how do I do this? Well, we're going to take this one apart here, and we're going to put the new one on. So these 2 screws hold the handle on. Okay, so this is the piece I had to reverse engineer, and this is what I came up with. So you can kind of see when you lay them on top of one another like this, how this has got like an organic curve to it, and it's also, the whole thing's kind of got a nice organic feel to it, and it's got this texture on there. I tried to do texture, and I couldn't figure out how to do it in Fusion 360. So away to the loch with you, Nissi. I need those screws. So Yes, my screwdrivers are magnetized. All right, so we're gonna put these away because we don't need them anymore. And I need to save them because this is a totally non-destructive thing. So one of the things I did, let's talk about the 34 prototypes, right? The very first thing I did was try to model, let's grab that. So the very first thing I tried to do was model this. And I put it into Fusion 360 and two things happened. One is the metric system is the tool of the devil. And my first two prototypes, well, this was my very first prototype, it came out like that, and that's obviously way too big. So this was way too big. And then I did this one, and this one was way too big. And it was a metric standard diflugality issue. I actually stopped this print long before it was finished because I knew it was too big. So then I printed out this one, and this one was too big too, or also. So then I came, and then I did this one, which actually fit relatively well, I think. I think this one fit. Yes. So this one fit this interior, but not with this bracket on here. This is actually what holds the handle on, is this somewhat substantial steel bracket. It wants to be substantial. You're holding a $3,000 camera. You don't want it to snap off or break. So then I built this one. Now I'm not going to take this bracket off because I don't need to. So this actually is upside down, so this wants to go wonk, 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 like that to fit in this hole here without the bracket on, right? Then I had to print all these to get the bracket to fit properly along this curve here. So, oh, that one doesn't fit. Oh, that one fit. Yeah, that one actually fit pretty good. But, yeah, so this is actually the final one. Kind of. No, that's not the final one. Is that the final one? That's not the final one either. Well, that one was just a failure. Oh, so yeah, actually, you know what? I don't have any of the finals in yellow. So I switched to black for a little bit, and I had a draft angle on this. So I had put a draft angle on here, and it kind of didn't work out all that great. I really wanted to be straight. So these are the ones, that's actually, that's not draft angle. Yeah, okay. So yeah, this does have a draft angle. This one does not have a draft angle. And this one fit perfectly. So it fits up nice and flush against the base here. That fits nice and square and flat. And then this fits pretty decent along the front here. Nice and tight. Okay. And then these were all printed out of standard PLA. And then I switched back to the yellow because I switched back to the yellow because I couldn't see very well. And then I had to put this cut in here to make up for this spot right here. That's kind of what I was fighting with the whole time, was this little lump right here. In the original factory one, it fits pretty much perfectly along this line. I'm not taking this lens off, so you're gonna have to deal with it. So it fit really nice there because it mated the curve, right? Because this is from Fuji. So whoever designed that designed this piece too. So then my last iteration was this one. Before I said heck with it, oh no, it was this one. Before I finally said the heck with it and sent it to the printer, and I came up with this one. But this one still has this little spot here, which is no bueno because it's not sitting flat. Now I got rid of that. Now this is the last one. This is the one that's going to fit. I know this fits because I already tried it. But I am going to have to sand. I'm going to cut that little hunk off right there. I'm done futzing with this. This project turned into a fiasco. So this is going to go in here like that. Oh, I have to trim it. So this is another thing I screwed up. Somehow along the line, when I was changing, I changed the program a couple different times. I changed the design a couple times, and I left these little tips, these little extra pieces in here, and they caused fitment problems. I scaled this a couple different times, and I used Derive, and it didn't, for whatever reason, it didn't transfer all the sketch parameters over. We're going to keep going until the camera overheats. So I need to cut this off right there, and I need to cut that one off right there, and then that solves that fitment problem pretty easily. It's a hell of a lot easier just to nip those off than it was to try to change that. The other thing I need to do is I need to take this little edge off right here. I'm actually gonna, I just have some files here, so I'm just gonna file it off camera. Okay, we're back. I just took a file and my little carving knife here and lopped some of this back. It doesn't look perfect. As a matter of fact, I'm not super crazy about how that just turned out. I'm just gonna give it another little bit more. This PLA carbon fiber is okay to sand. It's not great. It's definitely a little fuzzy, and I'm fairly sure the carbon fiber is slowly killing me, but hey, not for nothing, I worked in a carbon fiber shop years ago. So this is the finish it gave me. It's really nice. I actually really like it. I like the finish. I wanted to stipple it, but I got a soldering iron. If I want to stipple it, I can do it with a soldering iron. So now, to get the screws in, this stuff is really hard, shockingly. So I just took this little hand drill here and marked the holes close enough. I'm not reusing the factory screws for a couple reasons. The biggest reason is the heads are way too small. Now, I printed these at well over 50% infill. Actually, no, I take that back. I printed them at 50% infill, but the parts are so small that at 50% infill, there's a lot of material in here. I don't know if I started that hole enough. These are, so I should point that out too. Actually, yeah, there's holes are barely in there. So I marked the holes. I was going to use inserts, thread inserts, and I still might, right? So I have the design here, so I'm free to do what I want. I can print these over and over and over again. So that's the other reason I didn't go super crazy with the design or over designing them, is if they break, I have multiple different options for materials. Now I printed them in what I thought was the best material I could, and I liked it. So this is regular PLA, and it was a little too slick and shiny for my liking. But this has got a nice little, I can't describe it. It's a shame. Not for nothing, it feels like a Glock. Maybe not a Glock. Maybe a new Glock. It feels just like a new Glock. I have a Gen 2, but it feels like my Gen 5. Let's see here. Doesn't feel like my Gen 2. It has like a shark skin feel. This has like a shark skin feel to it. I really like it. It doesn't feel like shitty plastic, let's put it that way. which is kind of what I've come to expect with most things that are 3D printed. This does not feel like that. Doesn't look like it either. I used Hilbert Curve. All right, so I had these there's little countersunk screws laying around from countless other projects. I bought a shit ton of off Amazon. So that goes back on there like that. This should just fit right on here. I didn't try this. Righty tighty, dickhead. There we go. And that fits now with this cut out here, with that sanded out. That fits really nice, and it feels really good in my hand. So for a reverse engineer, I thought it came out pretty good. Now I can make this even bigger if I want, and I might make it bigger, but right now as it stands, I think it's pretty good. Yeah, this is the lens I'm worried about, and it feels really good in my hands. It's not jiggling, it's not wiggling, and it's nice and tight, especially with this thumb grip on here. And I really like the thumb grip. I was shooting the other day, and I was futzing with the dogs, and being away from this button and this button is vital. I'm holding the camera so tight that I'm afraid it's going to fall. I'm holding the camera so tight it was hurting my hands, and it's a great way to move these knobs. So there you go. I reverse engineered handles for my Fujis.